everybody, and welcome to the deep dive. We're going to get really specific today, talking about flea and tick prevention for Cane Corsos.
Okay.
But even if you don't have one of those big, beautiful dogs, don't go anywhere. The information today can really help you keep A&Y dogs safe from those nasty little bugs.
That's right. Yeah, the principles are pretty much universal when it comes to fleas and ticks. But you picked Cane Corsos for this deep dive for a reason, I bet.
Well, you know me. Always got to have a good reason.
Right.
So, why are these little bugs so bad, especially for bigger dogs who love to be outside?
Well, it's about more than just those itchy bites.
Okay.
We're talking about diseases they can carry. Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, anaplasmosis. Those are some scary ones.
Yeah, those are not good.
And a Cane Corso, with their short coat and, how much they love to run around outside, well, that gives fleas and ticks more chances to latch on.
Okay, so this is serious business. We're talking real health threats here.
Absolutely.
So what can we do to protect our dogs? What are our options?
Well, let's start with the classic. Topical treatments, like Frontline Plus.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Frontline's been around forever, for good reason.
Yeah.
The main ingredients in Frontline Plus, fipronil and S-methoprene, they work together to stop those fleas and ticks from, well, doing their thing. Kill the adults, and then stop the eggs and larvae, too.
So it's like a 1-2 punch. Get rid of what's there and stop more from coming.
You got it. And that's super important because fleas and ticks, those things breed like crazy. If you don't stop them, you'll have a full-on infestation before you know it.
Ugh, no thank you. Just thinking about it makes me itchy.
Yeah.
Are there any downsides to using topicals, though? I've heard some people are worried about side effects.
Yeah, there can be a few. It doesn't happen a lot, but some dogs might get a little irritated where you apply the treatment. It's also super important to make sure that stuff's totally dry before you let your dog go swimming or, hang out with other animals.
Right, yeah.
Especially cats. Some of those ingredients in the treatments, they can really hurt cats.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So topicals are like a shield, but you got to be careful with them. What about those pills you mentioned? Like, how do those work?
Right, so oral medications like Simparica, TRIO, they're different. They work from the inside out. Basically, they get into your dog's blood. So if a tick bites them, they get a dose of that medicine, and, well, that's the end of that tick.
Whoa, that's so cool. It's like built-in bug protection.
Exactly.
So is it better to use a topical or a pill?
It's not really about better. It's about what's best for your dog and what you, as the owner, prefer.
Makes sense.
Like if you've got a dog who loves to swim, a topical might not be the best choice, It can wash off.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even the waterproof ones have their limits.
For sure. And some people, they just prefer giving their dog a chewable pill every month rather than messing with the liquid stuff. But like I said, it all comes down to what works best for you and your pup.
This is all great information. We haven't even gotten to the collars yet.
Right.
Do those work kind of like the topical treatments?
Well, collars like Seresto, they offer a whole other layer of protection. The cool thing about those collars is they release medicine slowly over a long time, like up to 8 months. So you don't have to remember to apply something every month.
Wow, 8 months. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Do they repel fleas and ticks or just kill them when they try to bite?
Actually, Seresto collars do both.
Really?
Yep. They have 2 main ingredients, imidacloprid, which kills adult fleas and ticks, and then flumethrin, which both repels and kills ticks in their larval stage.
Oh, hey.
So you're getting like a double whammy of protection.
So collars are long-lasting, and they work in 2 different ways. This is awesome. But with all these choices, how do I even know where to start?
Honestly, talk to your vet. They
Yeah.
can help you figure out the pros and cons of each type of flea and tick prevention.
Okay.
They'll consider your dog's needs, how active they are, if they have any sensitivities. They could even show you how to apply everything correctly.
So a vet visit is non-negotiable, basically. Like, step 1.
For sure. It's always better to get expert advice, right? Yeah. That way you'll know you're making the best and safest choice for your dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about topicals, pills, and collars, but are there any other weapons in our flea and tick fighting arsenal?
Oh, for sure. We can't forget about the good old-fashioned shampoos and dips.
Oh, yeah, the classics.
Exactly. They're great if you're dealing with an infestation, or if you just need to give your dog a good clean after they've been rolling around in tick territory.
So it's like hitting the reset button if things get a little out of control.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep in mind they don't usually last as long as the other stuff we talked about.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so we've got a lot of options to choose from.
We do.
But let's say, hypothetically, we have a Cane Corso named Rocco. Rocco loves hiking with his owner, exploring all the trails and fields.
I love that name. Rocco.
What would you tell Rocco's owner to keep him safe from those pesky bugs?
Okay, great question. First things first, year-round prevention.
Year-round,
Yeah.
even in winter.
Yep, even in winter. Ticks, those guys are sneaky. They can be active even when it's cold out.
Oh, wow, I didn't know.
And fleas, they can live inside all year round, no problem.
So no breaks for us. Got it.
Exactly. You got to stay consistent. Now, for Rocco, since he's such an outdoor adventurer, I'd probably suggest a combo approach. Something long-lasting, like a topical or oral medication, and then a tick-repellent collar on top of that.
Okay, so double the protection for a dog who loves to explore.
Exactly. Especially when he's in those areas where ticks love to hang out, like dense woods and tall grass.
Yeah, those are tick hotspots for sure.
Big time. And after every hike, got to do a tick check. Head to tail, all over.
What am I looking for exactly?
Ticks like to hide in those warm, dark spots. So check between the toes, under the legs, around the ears, even under the tail.
So basically, it's a post-hike treasure hunt. But instead of gold, we're looking for ticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you find one, don't freak out. Just use a tick remover tool or some fine-tipped tweezers. Grab it close to the skin and pull straight up. Nice and steady.
Okay, steady and straight. What about twisting? I've heard you're not supposed to twist.
Nope, no twisting or jerking. You don't want any parts of that tick breaking off and staying in the skin. That can cause an infection.
Got it. Pull up slow and steady.
Exactly. Once you've got it out, clean the area with some rubbing alcohol or an antiseptic wipe, just to be safe.
Okay, good to know.
And keep an eye on the spot for a few days. If you see any redness, swelling, or anything oozing out, call your vet right away.
So tick removal is important, but so is the aftercare.
Yep, exactly. It's all connected. And like I said before, if you're ever unsure about anything, don't hesitate to call your vet.
Always better to be safe than sorry, right? Especially with all those diseases ticks can carry. Speaking of which, what should we be on the lookout for? Like, what are the signs that a dog might have Lyme disease?
Lyme disease is a tricky one. It can look like a lot of different things, and the symptoms can be pretty vague sometimes.
So what are we looking for?
Well, keep an eye out for things like sudden tiredness, if they're not eating like they usually do, if they have a fever, or if they seem stiff or sore, like they're limping or they keep switching which leg they're putting weight on. You might also notice swollen lymph nodes, or they could be in pain when you touch their joints.
So it's not just one thing, it's a bunch of different signs.
Right, exactly. And sometimes you might see a bullseye rash around the bite, but not always, so don't rely on that.
Okay, got it. What do we do if we think our dog has Lyme disease?
Don't wait. Call your vet right away.
Yeah.
When it comes to Lyme disease, the sooner you catch it, the better. Your vet will probably do a blood test to confirm, and then put your dog on antibiotics.
And catching it early makes a big difference, right, in terms of how well they recover.
Huge difference. The sooner you start treatment, the better the chances of a full recovery. If you leave it untreated, Lyme disease can cause all sorts of long-term problems. Joint pain, kidney problems, even problems with their brain and nerves.
Wow, so these little ticks can really do some serious damage if we're not careful. It's kind of scary, but I don't want to leave our listeners on a totally doom and gloom note.
Right.
Is there any good news out there when it comes to tick-borne illnesses, like any new treatments or anything hopeful on the horizon?
Actually, yeah. There's some really exciting research happening right now on Lyme disease vaccines for dogs.
Oh, wow, really? Tell me more.
So there are already some vaccines out there that target the Lyme bacteria in the tick's gut, before it even gets to the dog.
Yeah.
But now scientists are working on even newer vaccines. These ones focus on neutralizing the Lyme bacteria in the dog's bloodstream.
So it's like a two-pronged attack.
Exactly. And these new vaccines, they could potentially provide even better, longer-lasting protection.
That's amazing news. I know a lot of people would be so relieved to have a better way to protect their dogs from Lyme disease. When do you think these new vaccines might be available?
It's hard to say for sure. Research takes time, but the early results have been really promising. So it's possible that we could see these next-gen Lyme vaccines on the market in the next few years.
Fingers crossed. That would be a total game changer. We've covered a lot of ground today. Prevention methods, tick removal, Lyme disease, even vaccine research.
We have.
I feel like an expert myself now.
Well, you're well on your way.
Before we wrap things up, any final thoughts for our listeners? Any parting advice on keeping those fleas and ticks away?
Honestly, the biggest thing is prevention.
Okay.
Stay consistent with whatever prevention method you choose. Do those tick checks every time, and just be aware of the risks. You do all that, and you're giving your dog the best chance at a long, happy, healthy life.
No parasites allowed.
Exactly.
So it's not about being scared, it's about being smart and taking action. Like, if Rocco's owner wants to take him on a last-minute hike, they can do it and feel good knowing they've done everything they can to protect him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
When you have the right information and you've got the right tools, you can go out and have fun with your dog and not worry.
I love that. This deep dive has been amazing. I've learned so much. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us.
You're welcome. It's always a good day when I get to talk about keeping dogs healthy and safe.
And to everyone listening, we hope you feel empowered too. Remember, there's a ton of information out there, and your vet is always your best resource.
That's right.
Do your research, ask questions, and figure out what works best for you and your furry friend. Because at the end of the day, a healthy dog is a happy dog.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time. Keep those tails wagging, keep exploring, and keep those pesky bugs away.